this dreamy Radha Ji's look all over my For You page, so I have to recreate it. If you're thinking of leaving, this is the makeup that we're doing. So I'm starting off with my eyes, and eyes we are going to keep it a little pinkish tone plus the light golden shimmer. It will look warm. I'm using my Sephora Best Skin Ever Concealer to create a base on my eyelid. First, I'm going in with this shade right here, and this will be my transition shade going all over my eyelid. Now I'm taking this shade to create some depth on the outer side, like not too visible, but just a little bit. Now I've taken this sharp brush like this and added a black very close to the lash line. I'm even going to smudge this black with a very small blending brush. Now it's time to add the sparkle. So I am going to add the one right beside that transition shade and adding it right in the center. And then I have this shimmer that I feel like it would look really good if I put it in the inner corner. So we'll see. This one is very bright. So I want to just do a little bit of dabbing. That's it. I guess that looks nice. I'm going to reinforce my eyeliner that I've done. Just a little bit, not too much. It was a smudged one, so it doesn't matter. Now we'll do the base first before we move on to the eyes again. I have just prepped my skin with Embryolisse. Now I am going to use my e.l.f. gripping primer, especially in this area because we need that foundation to stick there. It's almost done, but I'm trying to take it out because I don't want to waste it. Doesn't matter how much full coverage foundation that I use, I always have to use a color corrector beneath because the hyperpigmentation always peeks through for some reason. I don't know why. But with the color correction, it looked flawless. So this color corrector that I'm using is from LA Pro. So this step is non-negotiable. And then I just blend it in with the brush. I'm going to let it sit for a couple of minutes before I move on to the foundation. For the foundation, I'm going in with my favorite House Lab foundation. This is what I usually approach for when I want a skin-like finish. I've took 2 pumps of this on back of my hand. And I'm also going to add Say Beauty. Taking the foundation on the brush, I'm going to focus more on the T-zone because that's where the foundation is going to show more. And we are going to leave the under eye area because that is already reserved for the concealer. And whatever's left on the brush is what I'm taking it on my forehead. See, I only took 2 pumps of both the Say Beauty and House Lab. I still have this much of foundation left. I'm again using my NYX bronzer stick. Can never go wrong with this. Adding it right in the hollows of the cheek, on the forehead, and on the nose. This is the best stick that I see, especially for the nose contour. Now I'm just blending the bronzer on the cheek and going upward direction. And today, as we are doing Radha Ji's look, a baby pink blush would go perfect for today's look. So I'm using a combo of these. First, I'm adding this pinkish highlighter. And with my Makeup by Mario F5 brush, like the dense side of it, I'm going to use to blend this. And then I'm taking my She Glam blush, and this one is in the shade Painted Pony, and adding it on top of that highlighter. And again, I'm using the concealer from Sephora because it's the brightest one that I have, and adding it over here and over here, tip of my nose, and a little bit on the forehead and over here. Let me just quickly go and wet this beauty blender and see it's damp and soft now. Perfect to blend the concealer. I have to use a damp beauty blender for my concealer because it just blends it so nicely. At the under eyes, what I like to do is take a small fluffy brush and a brightening setting powder. You would just take a little bit on the hand. Just swirl your brush a couple of times so that the product is completely distributed on the brush. Concealer one more time just to make sure there are no creases. And just damp that brush nicely and beautifully. It is going to set your under eyes for the whole day. We are going to add more highlighter on the face. So I'm using this Ofra palette. Going over here. On top of this highlighter, we are going to use the powder blush. And this one is from One Size. Taking very little of it and going it on top of that highlighter so that it looks like the glow is coming from within. If I ever feel like the blush is too much, I do a little bit of baking on the inner side. So that is what I'm going to do. So I have one of these sponges that I usually use to add more pink powder and take it on the sponge. Just dab it under your eyes. I just added the lashes and the white waterline because the look demands it. I have to do the flowers over here. And it should be pretty much it. And this is the final glam for the Radha Ji's look. And if you want to see more looks like this, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel.